I think it's a good thing to hear Sir John Major, the former Conservative Prime Minister, finally speaking up and speaking out against the Rwanda policy. He should have done this earlier. He should have done this 2 years ago, when it would have had some effect. Now it's almost like closing the door after the horse has bolted. He labelled the policy unconservative and un-British, further branding it as unChristian and unconscionable. Well, we should have heard that earlier, Sir John. His words resonate deeply, particularly given his standing as a senior statesman within the Conservative Party, offering a direct contrast to the positions contemporary Conservative leaders like Rishi Sunak and Suella Braverman, Priti Patel, Kemi Badenoch have taken, who championed the policy. Jacob Rees-Mogg. Sir John Major drew historical parallels between the Rwanda scheme and the practice of transportation used centuries ago to send convicted felons to penal colonies, particularly to Australia, and flagged up by Dickens in Great Expectations. The crucial difference, he noted, was that those deported in the 18th and 19th century had at least undergone a trial, however cursory it may have been. He emphatically rejected the idea of deporting asylum seekers to Rwanda as a modern solution to UK's immigration challenges, stating that it's wholly inappropriate for the 21st century. What emerges from Sir John Major's critique is not just a rejection of the Rwanda policy, but a broader disapproval of the direction in which Conservative discourse on immigration has evolved, the cruelty of that discourse. And Major has expressed his dismay at the growing sentiment that immigration is inherently negative, a view he has opposed throughout his career. He argued that migrants crossing the channel in small boats are often desperate people who don't know where to go, don't know what to do, or rely on the wrong people, rather than individuals posing any legitimate threat to British society. His opposition to the framing of immigration as an ill contrasts with the prevailing rhetoric within parts of the Conservative Party. Sir John Major also touched on the political future of the Conservative Party, warning against potential alignments with far-right figures and parties like Nigel Farage and Reform UK. He argued that merging with such groups would be fatal to the Tories' electoral prospects and to the future of the Conservative Party. Instead, Major called for a return to centre-right values, urging the party to refocus on its traditional base of common-sense conservatism. Importantly, Sir John linked his critique of the Rwanda scheme to broader dissatisfaction with Brexit and its aftermath. And he agreed with former Prime Minister Tony Blair's assessment that Brexit had not reduced immigration, but instead had shifted it, replacing European immigrants with those from other parts of the world. In Major's view, this shift contradicts the promises made by prominent Brexiteers like Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson, who had campaigned on reducing immigration overall. Not only has immigration, it seems, increased, but we're in a position unable to deal with it, having renounced the Dublin III protocol and put nothing in place of that protocol because we relied on the stupidity of people like Lord Frost to lead that negotiation with Europe. Overall, Major's comments reflect not just a critique of a single policy, but a broader call for the Conservative Party to return to its roots, embracing its centre-right identity while rejecting reactionary, punitive approaches to issues like immigration. He might also have said that the Conservative Party needs to recall and respect voices of better trained and better schooled individuals who know what they're talking about, rather than these reactionary trolls who are good at reciting slogans on their own television programs, rather than debating in any earnest sense about the core issues and the legal realities that face us.